Us today. There's been so many honors in the course of my 25 years here at HSN, but none greater than when I get to spend an hour with Andrew Lessman on the air with you. He is an incredibly smart man who has a passion for helping people get well, and through his supplements that we offer exclusively at HSN, you get the finest. You get no fillers, no additives. These are supplements that will absolutely help you improve your overall health. And we've got numerous today's specials to feature today because we're not going to have any next month. And it gives me a great honor to introduce you to the man, Andrew Lessman, joining us live from Los Angeles this afternoon. This morning for you. Hello, Andrew.
This morning for me, yes. How are you, Callie?
I'm great. I'm just having a terrible hair day, but you know, whatever.
I'm probably having a terrible hair day. It's okay. Your hair looks great.
Oh,
You're having a terrible hair day.
The reality of life. So I had the chance earlier to share your today's specials with everybody. It's been quite a day already, and truly we're waiting anxiously for you to join us to share your wealth of knowledge.
Well, the first today special we're talking about is our glucosamine and chondroitin. It was one of the original products when I started my company back in 1979. As far as I'm aware, there was no other company at that time making a glucosamine chondroitin supplement available. At that time, my background was in the science of these products, and I was following the science, tracking the science. I wasn't looking at the products that would sell. I was looking at the products that would provide benefit. And glucosamine and chondroitin are two molecules that are critical structural molecules in our joints, the tissues of our joints, our cartilage, our tendons, our ligaments. Also critical structural molecules in our blood vessels, in our arteries and veins, also in our skin. If you look at a tissue and it relies on elasticity, flexibility, and yet also being strong, you could be certain there's likely glucosamine and chondroitin integrated into those tissues. We have some amazing reviews. The science on these products is compelling because now it's not just something that's sort of kind of a fluffy, airy-fairy solution to our joints, but they have been the subject of literally thousands and thousands, dare I say tens of thousands of clinical studies, research studies. So these are ingredients that have been tested, they've been proven and established to deliver the benefits we seek. In fact, I think I have some articles here. But if you look to my right, this is from the Journal of Family Practice. It talks about a combination of glucosamine and chondroitin, and this is a journal for doctors. They should be considered viable first-line joint support nutrients. These are not drugs and medicines. These are for what that ails all of us as humans, those changes that will occur in our joints. And our joints are not just, say, our knees and hips and ankles, but our fingers, our hands, our spine. These are all joints. And these are joints that struggle and suffer from the wear and tear that normal human existence is. If we return to the chart there, and it says, be sure to tell your patients to purchase glucosamine sulfate, not glucosamine hydrochloride. Most supplements on the market are glucosamine hydrochloride. In 46 years of making a joint support formula, and this really, as that medical journal article says, this is the first line. If you're looking for a natural support ingredient to make a difference in the structure, in the function of your joints, glucosamine and chondroitin are the first place you look. We'll be talking about turmeric in a moment. Turmeric is going to be among the second places you look. Collagen peptides among the second or third places you look. And then, of course, every supplement company out there, what they rely on is a new and exciting ingredient. What I rely on is established science. New exciting ingredients, they come and they go and they disappear. Established science is not going anywhere because we're not redesigning the human body. So everyone's joints, the structure of our joints, the function of our joints depends on glucosamine, depends on chondroitin. As we get older, that dependency becomes more and more of an issue in terms of how we experience the functioning of our joints. If you want to read a couple of more studies here. This is from the Journal of the American Medical Association. Clinical trials of glucosamine sulfate and chondroitin sulfate preparations in supporting joint health have demonstrated moderate to large beneficial effects. We all want large beneficial effects, but I'd be thrilled with moderate effects from a natural ingredient that has no side effects, comes with no warnings. My product will be easy to swallow. It will never upset your stomach. It's an ultrafine powder. You could even get it in the bulk powder, save more money, so it becomes incredibly affordable. Even the 900 capsule supply. Without UC2, it's a little more than a dime a capsule. For expensive ingredients. These are ingredients you see locked behind a cabinet in pharmacies and discount stores. So a little more than a dime a capsule when you're talking about without UC2, and almost not even 20 cents a capsule when you're talking about the one with UC2. And to get UC2, that's undenatured type 2 collagen, added to your glucosamine and chondroitin, for as little as it costs today. I believe in the large size, it's only $30 or $40. And that's in the largest size, only $30 or $40. And undenatured type 2 collagen, the glucosamine and chondroitin, they play a structural role. They're kind of the bricks and mortar of what your joints are made of. And of course, the function of your joints is dependent on that structure. But undenatured type 2 collagen, that relates to the inner workings of our body, where our immune system, it has a role of detecting what's going on in our body, what's going right, what's going wrong, what needs to be repaired. So it has what's called an immunomodulatory effect. It affects the immune system's relationship with our joint tissue, specifically cartilage, and is favorable of the synthesis, the creation, supporting the creation, promoting the creation of cartilage. So again, at any one point in time, cartilage is being broken down, cartilage is being repaired. And that's without us doing anything damaging. That's just the nature of things. Our body is constantly rebuilding ourselves. And that UC2 delivers that supportive immunomodulatory effect. So imagine how synergistic, how beneficial this is, where 1 + 1 + 1 is more than 3, when you have all the raw materials you need, and then you have something that's messaging those tissues, messaging the immune system, saying now it's time to really put in motion that repair, that regenerative process. And that's why glucosamine, chondroitin, UC2, it is the best combination of joint support ingredients. Yes, I make a turmeric product. I have for probably longer than anyone else, a collagen peptide product. Again, making these for decades, longer than anyone else. And this is really where it starts. Turmeric might sound newer and more exciting, but this is really where it starts in terms of supporting your joint tissue.
100%. And on that note, I mean, this is the same pricing as last year. It's been a year.
Well,
and this is
same
the only
pricing as about, I think it's the same pricing as about 10 years ago.
Oh, gosh.
And it's lower pricing than it was 35, 40, 45 years ago. Even 45 years ago, my glucosamine chondroitin product, and back at that time, the first product was in a tablet, which I'll never make anything in a tablet again because it upsets people's stomach, it's hard to swallow. But back at that time, when it was tablets, back in 1979, per tablet, it was more expensive then than it is today, 46 years later.
That's
for an
wild.
expensive ingredient like this to be a little more than a dime a capsule in the large size. And again, if you look at it, wow, if you look at it in the powder, it's less than a dime a capsule equivalent in the powder.
And today is the only day we're doing the powder. This is the one time a year that we're doing these prices, and that's why those of you like me wait to stock up today. March is, we're not going to even have any today specials in March. So definitely jumpstart here. We can start you off on a 100 cap count, or 3, 6, 9. This is the only time we're doing the 900, and certainly that bulk powder form, which is great to put with your oatmeal and your smoothies and maybe your yogurt if you just prefer that method. But as you were saying, Andrew, look at the savings, and the bigger you go, the more savings that you'll enjoy. But it is this day, best pricing of the year. Item is 87754. I think it's true, as you were saying. I mean, even if you're not like really like pounding the ground and out there like, you know, playing tennis every day, you know, we're just maybe not feeling as agile. You're feeling like that active lifestyle that you really once enjoyed is starting to wane a little bit. It's all about those joints, and this is the product to help you with it.
We're not getting any younger.
Exactly.
I'm certainly not getting any younger. I've been doing this on television for, I guess this is my 36th year doing this
Wow.
on television. My start in this, it's not just my education in science and medicine and law. My education really kind of at one time took a backseat to my interest in sports and athletics. That's continued through my whole life. And being active definitely is a wonderfully healthy thing to do for your joints. But being active is really a clear communication that your joints are changing. My joints are changing, whether it's my knees, my ankles, my hips, my shoulders, my elbows. I realize how many times I threw a baseball or a football or a ball on the beach for Lincoln, and now throwing the ball for Truman. That our joints take a beating, and I'd rather be someone who's doing the very best I can, as long as these come without side effect and come without risk. I made this a product initially in 1979 with no intent to ever sell it. I mean, I was in my early 20s. It was being made specifically and strictly. So as an athlete, I would have a competitive advantage so I could recover and repair better. The same things that help us recover and repair as an elite athlete are the same things that help us recover and repair in an elite fashion from the struggles, the demands of life. I often jokingly say, but actually quite seriously say, the same supplements that really help elite performance athletes are the same supplements that help aging, the elderly folks, or any of us in the middle. That when you look at even maintaining muscle mass and the protein we focus on as an athlete, it's all about maintaining muscle mass, which is critical to our survival as we age. Same focus. So again, the thing that had me focusing on these ingredients when I was an athlete seeking to repair the damage I did in training is the same thing I do today, seeking to repair the damage I do as a human being, living my normal life, hopefully living my best life. I hope that as mobile as I am today, I'm going to be able to be that mobile in 20 or 30 years. But again, hope is not something that makes a difference. As we say, God helps those who help themselves. That it's basically another way of simply saying that simply thinking about something isn't enough. We need to have some form of action, intelligent, informed action that follows that thought. It pertains to any and every product I make. All of the products I make are seriously supported by science. There's a long list of products over the decades that I have steadfastly refused to make, even though I was requested and demanded to make them. All the hype from other companies, but they were just not products that delivered benefits. These ingredients here that I'm speaking about, glucosamine, chondroitin, I read some quotes from the medical science. There are thousands and thousands of journal articles on their benefits. You either can take advantage of their benefits or not. And again, you don't have to get my product. We make it in an ultra-fine powder so it will not upset your stomach in the perfect form that the medical studies recommend. Other companies don't do that. Mostly they're in tablets. Mostly it's the hydrochloride form that won't deliver the benefits. So if you've been disappointed, and I have so many reviews that say I tried other products, they just didn't work until I tried yours. That's because those other products, they rely on the excitement and the interest in these ingredients, but then they don't follow the science that created that excitement. They use an entirely different form. If you want the benefits, it has to follow the medical science.
It's the truth. And I'm going to show everybody what you were just describing as the incredibly finely pulverized. Look at how it's just as microfine as it could be. And they are so easy to swallow, and then they actually dissolve.
And that is, it's the only way we do things. Again, we make all of our products ourselves. That statement alone distinguishes my products from probably 95% of the products out there that are made by contract manufacturers, where different companies just pick from a menu of products and a label gets slapped on that product. So we are not a contract manufacturer. We make our own products. And that ultrafine powder, what makes it unique beyond it's just being an ultrafine powder in a capsule, which in and of itself is unique,
Right?
is the fact that there's no flowing agents or lubricants or additives. We don't burden your body. We don't burden the environment, but we don't burden your body with other chemicals that you need to process and excrete. All you get are the natural beneficial ingredients you seek. So there are no other products on the planet that are made like my products. I've been doing it for 46 years. The few companies back in the day in the 70s and 80s when I started that were making good products, they're gone. They've been sold to investment banking groups or private equity groups, or they've just disappeared, unfortunately. So I think I'm one of the last people left standing from someone who was not just passionate to sell supplements, but was actually passionate enough to invest in their creation. Because the only way you could control their quality and make sure a product is different is if you control their creation. And when we show videos of my facility, it's not some facility of someone else's. It's my facility that we built, that we created, that the solar panels have made it one of the first and only zero carbon footprint facilities.
Here it is.
Probably in the world. We were a zero carbon footprint facility back in the mid 1990s. And I didn't just do that for carbon footprint. I did that because any fuel that gets burned is polluting. I want to make sure that when I make my ultra clean products, I do it in an ultra clean fashion. So we are unlike any other company on the planet in how we approach the purity of your products and how we also affect the planet.
It's so true. And I said this earlier when we were featuring some of these. You just have such integrity. You have high standards, and I respect you so much. Another thing I was going to share is that if you see on the graphic, there's over 1,200 five-star reviews, more than 1,200 five-star reviews. It's almost emotional listening and reading some of the comments, Andrew, because you have improved people's lives so much through all of your supplements, but this one in particular. I mean, joint health is no joke, and you've done it. Like you said, you've followed the science, you manufacture your own product, and today is the day we wait for. One time a year that we are doing the bulk powder form, we are doing the big 900 cap count, or the other sizes, and it's either with or without that UC2. So it's a matter of your choice, same item number. Andrew, it's interesting, Tristan has his beautiful little Lucy, who's a Dachshund Beagle. She just turned 12 years old. Tristan had a surprise birthday party for her.
Nice.
But
and
he's got her on the glucosamine with the UC2.
Well, as everyone knows who followed me over the years, that Lincoln got his glucosamine chondroitin with UC2. He made it to 16 years, and now we've got little Truman, and Truman is already getting his joint support ingredients. Good. He's already getting his that's little Truman. That's him at about 3 months of age. He's now almost 30 pounds. That's him really? At about 8 pounds.
Oh, yeah. He is so cute.
No, he's pretty darn cute.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's funny, you just made me think of this before. I'm going to breakfast with my mom in a moment, and we don't want to put him on there because he'll steal the show. Maybe we'll bring him to the studio this evening. He's now a crazy like 26, 27 pound puppy.
Amazing.
But what my mom had always said that, when in terms of doing anything, and she'd refer, at this time she was talking about sports, that there's one right way to do everything. And that means you work hard, you train hard, you practice, and when she said in terms of life and career, whether I was going to be a doctor, whether I was going to be a lawyer, whether I'm now making vitamins, she said you just need to do something that makes not just your life better, but makes other people's lives better. And so hopefully, I'm having breakfast with her this morning, I'll remind her of those words. And hopefully that's what I do, whether it's for the last 46 years, despite people at first saying I was wrong for decades, emphasizing the importance of vitamin D, emphasizing the importance of omega-3 fats. These are things I've been doing for 40 plus years. And other folks eventually jump on the bandwagon, and everyone forgets that they criticized me at the time. But I guess when you've been doing it for as long as I have, and sometimes I'm referred to as a bit of a pioneer in this industry, you kind of have to take the flack that others are going to put in your direction. But we only make the products the very best we can, or we wouldn't make the product.
You are a pioneer. You've done everything so much better than anybody else for all the years, and to this moment. So again, it's one of my highest compliments to be here to be able to make this available to you when I have Andrew in the studio. So we're moving on from the glucosamine chondroitin. I know we're busy on that, as we always are, especially when it's the best price of the year. To turmeric. This is another really important, it's a nice marriage following the glucosamine, because this may help you live life again. One of the things about turmeric, and everybody knows is a kind of a big buzzword right now, you were the very first to do it. And I know you were the first to realize that proper absorption is really the key to turmeric, and that's why you did it, and that's why it's very difficult to make correctly.
Right. Initially, if you saw a turmeric product on the market, it was essentially turmeric spice. We were among the very first to offer a product that was a standardized turmeric extract at 95%. And we were, even more importantly, among the very first to offer a standardized turmeric extract that was complexed with fat. The fat we chose was the principal fat in your brain, the principal fat, phospholipid, in your liver, phosphatidylcholine. So we have been a bit of a pioneer with this ingredient as well. And it's sort of a perfect partner with glucosamine, chondroitin, UC2. Because remember, glucosamine and chondroitin, those are the building blocks. Those are the bricks and mortar, the structural components that are critical to the tissues of our joints and cartilage. When you then add UC2, that then positively affects the normal relationship between the immune system, the degradation and regeneration of cartilage, favoring the regeneration of cartilage. So you have building blocks, you have something that's pushing the regeneration in the proper direction. Turmeric is something that exerts the curcuminoids present in turmeric, a soothing effect. The wear and tear we put on our joints, and hopefully everyone notices that I intentionally don't use the word anti-inflammatory. Anti-inflammatory is a word I use and I leave to others. That's a word that is really best associated with medications and drugs. Other companies love to talk about anti-inflammatory effects on a systemic level. The word is often used incorrectly. So what I'd rather talk about here is the soothing effect that turmeric and its curcuminoids exerts on the joints that is abundantly supported by the clinical research. And again, I talked about side effects with glucosamine and chondroitin, that it helps your joints, also exerts positive effects on your blood vessels and heart. But when we talk about turmeric, yes, it exerts a soothing effect on the joints in our body, but at the same time, it exerts a positive effect on our brain. It exerts a detoxifying effect on our liver. And as I often say, there is no more important organ in our body that gets so little respect and is so overlooked than our liver. So when we do deliver turmeric, and we deliver it correctly, and most companies do not. Most companies now recognize that turmeric on its own is not well absorbed. So what they do is they add black pepper spice to it. And black pepper spice can enhance its absorption. But black pepper spice can also interfere with the metabolism of other medications. There could be side effects. It also could be irritating to the GI tract. What's amazing about my turmeric, it's actually soothing to the GI tract, which is sort of hard to imagine that a spice is soothing to the GI tract. But that's what our turmeric does. So if you want a turmeric product that is actually made correctly, follows the research, follows the science, doesn't take shortcuts, delivers the highest standardized extract as a starting material, then you're looking at it.
And I'm so excited to say that this is 50% off the regular price today. Seriously, look at this chart. Today, this is the day, like I said, we wait to stock up if you've already been taking the turmeric 400, and 400 is a key part of this formulation. But look at this. As you get into the larger cap counts, which we only do one time a year, and that time is right now, you're saving $100. It's half price today. So whether you start small or go big, the savings are here, and it's all today with free shipping on everything. And of course, flex pay and 30-day unconditional money back guarantee. Here's another product like everything you'll see from Andrew Lessman on our website that is complete rave reviews and customer picks, like vast majority being 5-star reviews. The color of this product, Andrew, is so pretty. I'm going to break another capsule apart to show you the microfine pulverized, product. But look at that.
And what's interesting, the color looks like the color if we think of India, we think of Asia, and we think of, say, Buddhist or Hindu robes. It looks kind of like that orange. And the reason why it looks kind of like that orange is because that is exactly what it is. That turmeric and curcuminoids have not only been used in traditional medicine, but it's really an ingredient, a plant that had many applications and uses, and it was a wonderful coloring that was used in clothing. So it is an ingredient that for thousands of years has been respected for its traditional medical benefits. As I often say, Western medicine, we kind of lag behind a little bit. Eventually, the composition of turmeric was recognized, first epidemiologically. We look at large population studies and see, wow, those people who are consuming more turmeric, they're having a wide-ranging health benefits as a result. So then we start examining what is it about turmeric that delivers those benefits. We realized it was the curcuminoids that are present in turmeric. So then we created a turmeric that has high levels of curcuminoids, but it really wasn't beneficial because they couldn't be absorbed. They needed to be complexed with fat, which then is going back to a starting point, because in India and Asia, how do they deliver their curcuminoids from turmeric? They cook them in foods. They cook them in stews or soups. And when they do so, what happens? They're naturally complexed with fat. So we kind of went full circle. So now we're following the old kind of family recipe for turmeric and its curcuminoids, naturally complexing them with fat at a low temperature, sort of slow cooking them. So we deliver all of the benefits of turmeric and its curcuminoids. And it's been a journey. This is an ingredient that originally showed up in my first product probably about 30 plus years ago. And it's a product that, an ingredient that has evolved as the science has evolved, enabling to make you a better and better product. So I'm always delivering whatever the perfect product is for that moment. That's what we're delivering.
Well, we're busy on this one. Everyone is realizing the importance of that. And it is interesting you don't use anti-inflammatory, but rather soothing. And I love that even better. I mean, we ask so much of our bodies.
Yeah, I don't want this to be confused as a drug or a medicine. Drugs and medicines are different. They come with a long list of side effects. I leave it to other companies to be kind of deceptive and try to have you think, well, their turmeric's kind of like a drug. It's kind of like my Advil or kind of like my Aleve. It's an anti-inflammatory drug. They're not. They might share some common mechanisms, but they are entirely different and, in my mind, quite superior. I leave those inflammatory drugs to the doctors who prescribe them. What I'm creating here is a natural tool that exerts a soothing effect on your joints and, at the same time, without side effect, is detoxifying for your liver and supportive of other structures and even soothing for your gut. A spice that's soothing to your stomach and digestive system. Imagine that.
Right. I'd love to take a minute just to read a few reviews because they're stellar. I mean, all the way across the board. Here's one saying, I am very satisfied. I didn't know a supplement would make such a difference in my joints and general feeling of well-being. Thank you for your sharing to help us stay healthy. Another, best product. I've tried several different brands of turmeric. Love this capsule. No taste, no aftertaste, which is an issue with a lot of the other store brands. I have knee issues, so I take this to help with the discomfort. I can tell a difference when I do not take these. I still have discomfort, just not as bad as it could be. No stomach issues taking this as either. Better late than never. I mean, I said this before, Andrew, people write you love letters. Like, these are paragraphs.
Looking at that review, wow, Andrew, this supplement is fantastic. I mean, it's the reviews on this product, on glucosamine and chondroitin. I mean, people have significant expectations, and they should, when you're getting a product like this. And certainly, not every product is going to work for everyone. But when you look at these natural products that have no side effects, and you see that over 80% of the reviews are not just good reviews, but perfect 5-star reviews. And that when you look at positive reviews, you get well over 90%. And it doesn't mean that I'm doing something right. I guess to some degree. What it means is nature has really done something right, has really provided for us if we pay attention. And then my job is to not take shortcuts, to not, to follow my mom's advice. There's one best way to do everything. And to make sure that as long as the science says that turmeric and its curcuminoids can deliver you a benefit, that I make sure I do that in a fashion where you're most assured, best assured of getting the benefits from that remarkable ingredient.
And here we are once again at 50% off today. This is a product, you can always find it on hsn.com, but you will, first of all, not find the larger size, which is nice to stock up for the year, and you will not find this kind of a savings. I'll refer to this again. Obviously, you can start with the smaller 30 cap count to get started. Most people who jump in go straight to the larger sizes, whether it's 240 or the 360, only offered today 50% off. You're saving literally so much today on the best product. And when it comes to turmeric, it really is something that, I mean, there's no disputing the benefits of turmeric. And I just am fascinated with your research, your science.
I was just going to read some science here if I could.
Oh, good, yeah.
And this is from phytotherapy research that relates to plant therapy. It says, talking about piperine, the black spice that I'd say 90% of the turmeric uses to enhance absorption. Because piperine may be argued against because of the strong inhibitory effects of piperine on enzymes involved in both phase 1 and phase 2 drug metabolism. That's in the liver. It's affecting liver metabolism, not something you want. This will increase the risk of drug interactions. Unlike piperine, co-administration of curcuminoids, this is what we do with phosphatidylcholine, which is the phospholipid in your brain, phospholipid in your liver, does not introduce additional risk of drug interactions, but enhances the bioavailability by preserving it from hydrolytic hydrolysis, hydrolysis in the gut, degradation, and increasing intestinal absorption. So this is the only way to do it correctly, given the current state of the science. And clinical ophthalmology, curcumin has poor systemic availability, unfortunately, but formulation with phospholipids, as we do, dramatically increases its absorption, oral absorption. To overcome the bioavailability problem, a lecithin formulation of curcumin, we use phosphatidylcholine, has been developed, and incorporation into a phospholipid matrix leads to an almost 30-fold. That's a 3,000% increase in absorption. That's why this is the only way to go. Journal of Pain Research. With over 100 different molecular targets, curcumin is the archetypal pleiotropic dietary agent and is currently at the forefront of biomedical research, as cogently testified by the over 5,150 entries for curcumin in PubMed. That's our national medical research database. It's about 10% of those for aspirin, the best known drug. Again, even though it was in the Journal of Pain Research, it's not a drug for pain. Cancer, chemotherapy, pharmacology. The lipophilic character of the curcumin phosphatidylcholine complex may facilitate diffusion of curcumin across biological membranes in the gastrointestinal tract. That's how it enhances absorption. In conclusion, administration of curcumin as phospholipid complex greatly increased plasma and hepatic bioavailability of parent compound and metabolites as compared to unformulated curcumin. In a nutshell, if you want curcumin to benefit and be delivered to your joints, to your liver, to your brain, you need to complex with phospholipids, as we do here. Despite the title of that research journal about cancer, this is not a cancer therapy or cancer treatment, but curcuminoids and turmeric are being looked at through all different ranges and areas of medicine for their potential beneficial and palliative effects.
It's absolutely true. Thank you for all of that. And we're going to move on to another extremely important counterpart, if you will. We're going to talk now about the topic of cholesterol. It's definitely an issue in this country, especially with the diet that we have, a lot of saturated fats in our diets. And boy, cholesterol is such an important thing to be very aware of in terms of your numbers. And this is a product that is made with plant sterols, which is the key to this. No side effects, no warning signs. Another great product to do naturally, something that will help with both total and LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. Here today we have all the way up to 1,000 cap count only today, one time a year, and here's the savings are massive. Over 100, I mean, it's 150 off. You're saving 150 as opposed to $100 for the 1,000 cap count. So it's your choice of 1, 250, 500, or 1,000. But let's talk plant sterols and why that is such an important part and the top of your list of priorities.
It's and this is a question I'm often asked, that the cholesterol-lowering drugs, most of the cholesterol in our body doesn't come from our diet. Most of it comes from synthesis within our body. And again, doesn't mean that our diet can't play an enormous role in our cholesterol, in determining our cholesterol level and reducing our cardiovascular risk. It just means most of the cholesterol that is present in our body is synthesized in the liver, synthesized in the body. And by the way, if your cholesterol level gets very low taking cholesterol-lowering medications, it is a complete fallacy when people tell you that that's depriving your brain of cholesterol. Brain is not, your brain does not have cholesterol delivered to it from outside. It's so important that your brain has the capacity to create its own cholesterol. So it is not actively transported to the brain from outside, just so you know that. But how this works, unlike cholesterol-lowering drugs that might affect the liver, and most of them do in some ways, whether they're HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors or PCSK9 inhibitors, or Zetia, which affects the small intestine, affects the absorption and metabolism of cholesterol in that fashion. Here, we're showing a very simple mechanism, and it's pretty fascinating. Cholesticare, that's the plant sterol molecule above. You don't even have to understand the representation of what a molecule looks like. If all you do is look at how the cholesterol molecule below the Cholesticare molecule, they're almost identical. And what's interesting about the Cholesticare molecule, where cholesterol would normally be absorbed very efficiently out of the small intestine, that Cholesticare molecule, because it looks the same, and the only difference is this little extension there. Those little extension there, it's an additional couple of carbon atoms and some hydrogen atoms. That little additional extension there has that Cholesticare molecule occupying and basically blocking the absorption of cholesterol, blocking that absorptive site. So it blocks the absorption of cholesterol. And most people don't realize we make bile salts. Every time we eat, we secrete bile salts. We make bile salts from cholesterol in our body. And you can see why. They, again, almost identical. The only difference is kind of that little chopped off segment there. So when we make bile salts and we secrete bile salts, there are bile salts, there's cholesterol. So if we could block the reabsorption of those, which normally our body would, we lower cholesterol. So the way plant sterols work is different from all those things that target the liver. That's why these add to the benefit of whatever medication you're taking. They enhance their effects and perhaps enable you to lower the levels you might be taking of those drugs or medications and perhaps lower the risk of side effect. But every time you take a plant sterol, when you take it with a meal, you block the absorption of cholesterol from that meal. Even if you're a vegan, and there's no cholesterol in that meal, you still secrete bile and you still secrete cholesterol. And what Cholesticare does, the plant sterols in Cholesticare do, what they do is they reduce and inhibit the reabsorption of the cholesterol and the bile salts that we just secreted into our digestive tract. Our body is incredibly efficient. If we take our precious cholesterol, make bile salts from it, and then we dump bile salts and cholesterol into our digestive tract, guess what? We want to reabsorb them. We want to recycle. We want to be efficient. So what the plant sterols in Cholesticare do, even if you're a vegan, as I said, and never eat cholesterol, because they would normally block the absorption of cholesterol, they block the reabsorption of cholesterol and bile salts. So that's how they work. That's how they enable you to substantially lower your total and LDL cholesterol. On the screen, it says bad cholesterol. I constantly correct folks that it's not like LDL is bad cholesterol, because we rely on LDL cholesterol to be sort of a more available distribution tool for cholesterol within our body, because our body does need cholesterol. So it just becomes bad when the levels get significantly higher, when our ApoB levels, which is a subfraction of our LDL, when our ApoB levels become higher, because those are the components that can be incorporated into atherosclerotic plaque. So we want to, for those folks who say that cholesterol has nothing to do with cardiovascular risk, they are sadly unburdened by the science, because sadly, Unfortunately, if you look at the plaque that blocks our arteries, which is the cause of heart disease, if you look at those plaque, integrated in those plaque are apolipoprotein B, the LDL cholesterol. So unfortunately, there's no escaping the fact that this has an impact. Cholesterol is important. Of course, it doesn't mean that blood pressure shouldn't be at the very top of the list of our focus for any number of reasons, that managing our blood sugar and our A1C shouldn't be at the very top of that list as well. But there's no ignoring the fact, there's no escaping the fact that managing our cholesterol is a critical and straightforward way to manage our cardiovascular, our heart disease risk.
You know, I'm looking at some reviews here, Andrew. I mean, there's so many. You take a moment if you have time later, but one, I love this one. She says, I have had high cholesterol and so thought I would try this product. Well, let me tell you, when I had my yearly blood work done, my total cholesterol numbers went down 45 points. I'm 72 in good health, and my numbers have never been that low. I will be a customer of Andrew Lessman's for life. So many reviews. We have got a minute. Let's take a look at a couple more. Great product. Do you want to read these, Andrew?
Or I was just going to read, I just want to read some science.
Sure.
I love the reviews. The reviews speak for themselves, and maybe we'll get to some. But I just want folks to understand that, first of all, when I spend so much time talking about how companies make drug claims, talking about glucosamine and arthritis, and making claims they should not make, calling turmeric an anti-inflammatory drug, essentially. But here we are making what sounds like a drug claim. Because saying something lowers total and LDL cholesterol, that is a classic drug claim. The only reason I can do so is that the Food and Drug Administration carved out an exception for this ingredient. It is so effective, it is so safe that they carved out an exception, and we get to speak about it in this fashion, much to the dismay of the pharmaceutical companies that make those statin drugs back in the day. They were not happy to see this exception carved out. But if we look at the science here, healthy diets, when combined with plant sterols, have the capacity to lower LDL cholesterol by 28 to 35%. That means if you try to lower your saturated fat and cholesterol and add fiber, add Cholecticare, that's the kind of reduction. That's classically the reduction you'd expect from cholesterol-lowering drugs. So in the past, so it can have a remarkable impact. Cholecticare's structure, as I showed you before, is so similar to that of cholesterol that it can block up to 40% of cholesterol absorption. That's the cholesterol you eat or the cholesterol and bile salts we all secrete when we eat. So diet is the cornerstone of any cholesterol reduction plan. It should work hand in hand with any medication you might be taking. Plant sterols have always been demonstrated to be the #1 tool for naturally lowering cholesterol. They help to little total and LDL cholesterol levels and thereby help to reduce the risk of heart disease. I think I have some reviews here. Yeah, Cholecticare really works. I can lower my LDL and total cholesterol substantially with Cholecticare. I use this and alternate with Choco Nuvo, which also contains plant sterols, which already has the cholesterol plant sterols, depending on whether I want the chocolate and calories for a snack. Both are effective in dropping my LDL, thanks from Randy in Louisiana. Really works. I was desperate to try anything to get my LDL cholesterol down. I talk about how well it works with cholesterol-lowering drugs. A lot of people can't tolerate them, can't take them. So this becomes almost their only alternative. I read great reviews on this product. I decided to give it a try. I had my doctor's appointment recently and was amazed to see my LDL numbers went down and is now in the normal range. My total cholesterol went down to the normal range now too. I'm so excited about this news. I will continue to buy this product from Ali in California. We'll do one more.
Okay.
I love Cholecticare, like the Choco Nuvo. I've been taking Andrew Lessman supplements for many years. Combined with good eating habits, my HDL, LDL labs have remained consistent. I've only been taking Cholecticare for about 30 days, however. I've been using Choco Nuvo after meals for approximately 1 year. My cholesterol continues to remain in the normal, healthy ranges. I'm female, age 57. When I buy supplements, it's not so much about price and more about high potency, quality. Taking Andrew supplements is a good habit I wish to keep.
I love the reviews. Love the science, equally as important. So thank you for both of that. And we are moving on, but to continue, folks, please getting the products at these great prices. $150 off to get the big cap count, which we only do today. So best prices of the year. Moving on to one of the most delicious treats. And it just happens to be really good for you in terms of high protein, low calorie, incredible snack. These are the Secure Meal Replacement Bars. And I know you're gonna love them if you haven't started already. I'm loving what we're doing today. You can see multiple options here. You can, let me start with this. You can do the 30-gram bars, which are the regular size. This is the original size, and you can do any one of the flavors. We've got all three of them. Peanut butter crunch chocolate chip, or peanut butter chocolate chip, the coconut almond cookie crunch, and the chocolate brownie almond crunch. Or you can do the 60-gram bars if you want the bigger snack. This is now an option under the same item number, any one of the flavors, and you can do either a 12 bar, you can go multiple boxes and get a variety of flavors. So each size differs based on how many bars you want. You can combine all three flavors if you would like. But Andrew, my mouth just started watering. Literally,
No,
I think I hear you tearing open a package.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say you could hear you chewing. I'm not supposed to talk with food in my mouth, but these are unique in that not only are they delicious. We unfortunately had a more difficult task than most bar manufacturers. Most bar manufacturers, all they have to do is create a yummy, seemingly healthy candy bar. What we've done here, we've kept the sodium low, the sugar low, all those things. It's non-GMO, it's vegan, it's non-dairy. But what we've done here is we also have included more vitamins, more nutrition than your typical multivitamin. The 60-gram bar per meal is barely $1 a meal, a little over $1 a meal. Even on the 30-gram bar, it's barely $1.50 a meal. And when you look at the bar, I mean, you can see the almonds in the bar. It's basically a chocolate brownie with almonds. So, and when you look at the peanut butter, you see the peanut chips in the peanut butter. A lot of peanut butter bars out there, they're creamy peanut butter, but you don't see real peanuts. You see real peanuts and real chocolate chips in my bar. But again, they are rich in nutrition. When we talk about, and there we go, and if you show it, yeah, I was gonna say break it in half, and there you go.
Oh,
now you see the peanuts and the chocolate chips, and you see the voids they created. So it makes it very difficult to make these bars, to have these inclusions. Most bars are just these uniform little synthetic bars. But again, the hard part is not just making that yummy, delicious bar, but figuring out, and fortunately I have 46 years of playing with vitamins and minerals, figuring out how we hide all that wonderful nutrition in the bar. And just, again, paying careful attention to Mother Nature, we have figured out how to do it. But again, that's what happens when I have a little bit of, I think, an almond in my throat now. But again, if you want, excuse me.
No, yeah, take a sip of water. I know, I get that way too. I wanted to go through the fact you mentioned vegan, which is so important. My son's vegan for 5 years now. I make sure he's always got a protein something, and this is my favorite. As full of like 16 vitamins and minerals, no gluten, dairy-free, non-GMO, and you will be hard-pressed to guess that you are snacking on something that tastes this good. It tastes like a candy bar, Andrew.
No, it's funny. I just had this. When you eat nuts and things, you get a little nut in your throat. But when you look at the nutrient content, say that 60-gram bar, that 60-gram bar is 2 meals. There's 100 to 400% of the RDA of all key vitamins, everything. It's not like a mini multivitamin. It's like a multivitamin. So when you look at these bars, they are the opposite, say, of an ultra-processed food. They are low in calories, but rich in nutrition. Ultra-processed foods are typically calorically dense and sort of nutritionally not dense. So what I've tried to do here is make this really a meal replacement, not just a meal replacement so it fills you up and you skip a meal, which is typically what most meal replacements do. This is a meal replacement that not only replaces the meal or the snack, but replaces the nutrition at a level that doesn't even come close to the meal you're going to eat. That more nutrition in this bar than in the typical meal you'd eat. And if we look at some of the reviews on these bars, they just go on and on about how delicious they are,
I know.
how they don't believe how healthy they could be. We're talking about, I think there's only 4 or 5 grams of added sugar per bar, which again, I know some people are looking for a 0 sugar added sugar bar. That's something we're working on, and hopefully is something we're going to have available in the future. But nevertheless, this bar is low in added sugar, but it's delicious. It just melts in your mouth, whether it's the chocolate, which I love, the coconut almond cookie crunch, which is amazing. As I think about them and talk about them, I salivate. And then I've never been a big fan of peanut butter,
Ooh.
but I love our peanut butter bar. And again,
Agreed.
with the chocolate chips in it and with the peanut, with the actual peanuts in it, it really is a real bar and truly
You
delicious.
look forward to it. There's a lot of, we have busy lifestyles, easy to run out the door without anything and just a cup of coffee, and then you're running on empty. And, you know, you're playing catch up all day. Really quickly wanted to show you, for the 30-gram bars, the original size, you can do a 12 bar, choose one flavor, do 24 bars, choose 1 or 2 flavors. If you do the 36 bars, you can choose one of all 3 flavors if you would like. And then if you go to the 60-gram, the bigger 2-serving bar, you can do 6 bars, that's 1 flavor. If you do 12, you can do 2 flavors. And if you do 18, you can do all 3 if you would like, which is, I think, the better way to go. The savings are here today. This is a today special for a reason. We didn't get to spend enough time on this when we started the kicked off the new year. So once again, you can see the bigger you go, the more savings. And these are the best on-the-go, delicious treats. You mention it, and here again, rave reviews. How many of us have tried those protein bars and they taste like powder? They're like chalk in your mouth, and you try to choke it down because you know you need some help, but right?
Or they're just fake candy bars.
True.
And again, with ours, you're also getting 7 grams of protein, so it's low in carb, it's low in fat, so it's really giving you all of the ingredients you want, well balanced. The bar, we'd rather, if you look at the bar, we've actually favored the inclusion of fat over the inclusion of carbohydrate and sugar. So, and that's sort of how I tend to eat. I try to avoid the simple sugars. I try to avoid the carbohydrate. And I'm not afraid of fat as long as the fat is in a good, proper form. So it's just a great opportunity to give yourself all the nutrients you want when you're skipping a meal. And meal replacement is the most established science in weight loss. With all due respect to the new weight loss drugs that are on the market, which might be highly effective, the most established science in weight loss is the intelligent use of a meal replacement. There's no better, more nutritionally rich meal replacement bar on the market than Secure.
I couldn't agree more. They are shockingly tasty. They are moist. They kind of melt in your mouth. And like I said, today's prices are the best price that you'll see all year long. So don't miss out on that. We are moving into our final today special. So if you're just tuning in, we started with glucosamine chondroitin, and that's your choice of. And for the only time all year, we've got the powdered version, which I know is nice. That's what I like to do. Then we moved on to turmeric. Then we had the Cholestacare, moved into the Secure Meal Replacement bars. And finally, we're gonna help you use the most incredible soap-free soap that Andrew has come up with called Fact. We have this in the original, and now we have it in the peppermint scent. This is an incredible product, Andrew, because Fact is a soap-free, moisture-rich, plant-based bar that's good for all skin types, and you can use it anywhere on your body. And I think I've heard you say you've even used it to shampoo your hair or maybe shave.
I don't use shampoo anymore. I use the bar.
Good.
I don't use shaving cream anymore. I use the bar. And what Adam did yesterday, which is a great proof of how unique this is, if you told someone you were going to wash your face or wash your hands with soap, but you weren't going to rinse it, you're just going to leave the soap on your face and then wipe it off, or the soap on your hands and wipe it off, you'd feel like you were wearing a mask or you had gloves on afterwards. You could actually do that with Fact. I don't recommend you should do it that way, but you could actually do that with Fact. It is unlike, as unique as so many of the products I make might be. And every product we make is unique, or we wouldn't make it. We'd leave it to someone else if we couldn't do something that was better or more pure or more special. But this is without question the most unique cleansing experience anyone will ever experience. It's almost 1/3 natural, moisturizing, cleansing oil. It is so remarkably mild so remarkably soothing, whatever your skin type, whatever your skin issues might be. It is the exact same pH as your skin at 5.7. So if anyone ever thinks that I make some unique vitamin supplements, and over the years, obviously, we're the first to do CoQ10, the first to do glucosamine, so many products, we were the first to introduce them. There is no other cleansing bar like this. I've been working on this product since the early 1990s when I did a fruit and vegetable safety rinse at QVC, which required soap and other ingredients to clean our produce. That was the beginning of my learning how dirty cleansing products are. And again, and you said it contains a peppermint scent, one of the versions. We have unscented or peppermint scent. It really contains a peppermint extract. The minute things contain fragrance, they contain a whole range of potentially very toxic chemicals. If you read on a label, fragrance or parfum, P-A-R-F-U-M, you know right away that you're dealing with an ingredient that is not in the best interest of your health, not in the best interest of your skin, but virtually every one of the leading brands of soap and cleansers. And soap, simply stated, soap is alkaline, it's stripping and damaging and denaturing to the skin. It should never touch the skin. If you put soap in a product, you better put other ingredients in the product to reduce the adverse effects of soap, which soap is not natural, no matter how natural folks claim soap products are. By the very nature of soap, soap is the result of a chemical reaction called the saponification reaction. It is not natural. It is an industrial chemical. Some of the largest industrial companies today have their origins in making soap more than 100 years ago. So soap is not natural, and it is old science, and it is the last thing that anyone should put on their skin if they care at all about their skin. Sadly, you can't find soap on a typical label. Why? Because they never call it soap. They call it something else. The result of a saponification reaction is sodium or potassium. These ions combined with, usually it's a monovalent cation, combined with a fatty acid. So it'd be something like sodium cocoate, sodium oleate, or potassium cocoate. It's going to be sodium and potassium with some kind of a fatty acid name. So unfortunately, it's hard to find soap on labels, but it's the last thing you want to find on your skin, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really crazy and alarming to hear all of those things. You know, we've just been led to think that everybody's honest with their advertising. Ha ha, right? But one of the things I think this is important too, rigorously tested with dermatologists, pediatricians, ophthalmologists, gynecologists, confirmed and approved.
By the way, that's something I should have mentioned before, because I don't know of any other cleansing product in the world that goes this far. And it's not easy to have a product that's dermatologist tested. Some do that. Pediatrician tested, okay. Some might do that maybe for a baby shampoo or something like that. But also, in addition to that, ophthalmologist tested. So it tells you, because our eyes can be sensitive. And then in addition, and this is perhaps one of the most difficult tests to manage of all, gynecologist tested. So again, this is a product that has been so rigorously tested to demonstrate to you its mildness, that you could rely on it to be completely different. I don't make something, I don't put my name on something unless it's truly different. I've been working on creating this for over 30 years. And finally, I just had no choice but to make the product available, because we had small samples of it. Everyone was using it. Everyone wanted it. So finally decided, okay, I'll put a name on it. I'll put a label on it. And fact, it's called fact because it's the same pH as your skin. And unless we change something about the chemicals we use, because by the way, the chemicals we use all end up in the environment. So this is also a product that only uses ingredients. And by the way, it's incredibly simple. Our unfragranced product is 4 ingredients. The product with peppermint extract is obviously 5 ingredients. So it is incredibly simple, elegantly simple, and just an incredible product that it will change your entire perspective on whether you'd ever use a bar of soap again. It truly is unique. And by the way, liquid soap in a bottle people think it's less spreading of bacteria and stuff. It's actually worse, because the outside of that bottle becomes a potential vector for bacteria or viruses, whereas surface of a bar of soap is not a friendly place for bacteria or viruses. So, and again, a plastic bottle, the pump within it, all of those things are not friendly for our environment. A bar of soap is the most environmentally friendly way. Plus, shipping billions of gallons of water around with shampoo and hand soaps and all of that. So in every way, this is a more intelligent, superior product than the typical products that are out there.
And you know what? They last a long time, I will say. I've just been enjoying the scent of the peppermint. It's so refreshing. Today's pricing is better than you're going to see all the rest of the year. Take a look. The 3 bars, I mean, this is what you're paying today. This is normal pricing. To get the 12 bars, you're saving $40. You're only spending $49. And like I said, they last a long time, and it feels good knowing you are doing something good for your skin, our largest organ.
And for those of us, Dove is the #1 soap bar in America and the world. You will call this a far superior version of Dove without all the fragrance and all the other additives that are present in that product. There's actually soap in Dove. So it's a different product. I think you'll fall in love with it. Again, it's a product, I think, that all in our reviews, it's about 4.6 or 4.7 star product. When we look at, I think at ProCaps, it only has 5-star reviews. So a remarkable product. It's money back guarantee. You'll fall in love with it when you try it. And again, it's larger than a bar of Dove, so it's more, that makes it more economical, and also it lasts longer too. So.
Well, I'm going to go work on a better hair day.